The term God is a description / label of an entity we don't know how to identify accurately as it relates to its entirety. Therefore, any label we come up with to describe God is just a bookmark of identity. Now, I do understand the power of language, and I'm not undermining the energetic frequencies that can play a part in the correct pronunciation of particular dialects. But I personally believe God cares more about intentions than accuracy. I personally believe as long as you acknowledge the omnipotent and most high God, I don't think God gives a fuck if you recognize Jesus, Allah, or any of these other deities with conviction. First and foremost, God, Yah, Allah, and the Most High are all referring to the same entity on the surface. But once you start examining and dissecting certain shit, some folks will go on to explain how they're all different. So me being African American and labeling that entity as God, knowing that's a Greek translation, depletes the power that word can provide for me due to its inorganic nature it's being presented in. But I say God for general consumption of information so everybody knows who the fuck I'm referring to when I'm speaking to that entity, instead of trying to be culturally accurate in relation to spirituality. Motherfuckers be so spiritual and shit, so woke and shit, so righteous, but be so Joe, like I don't get it, like it's God, nuh-uh, it's the Most High, nuh-uh, it's Allah, nuh-uh, it's Amun Ra, like who gives a fuck? It is what it is. Whatever works for you, works for you. Like, who the fuck are you to say? Why does it matter? Y'all all referring to the same entity. Omnipotent entity is indescribable. So anything on earth that our minds can't explain or describe is the power of that omnipotent entity. So just leave it at that. Whatever you identify it as, that's what it is. But no, that's where science comes in at, because folks' egos feel like that they can explain everything. We all experience God differently, and in ways we can't always describe. So the audacity of a motherfucker to build up the ego to proclaim authority towards who, what, when, where, how, as it relates to God and anyone other than themselves is just wild to me. There's way too much, this is what God said, this is what God was trying to tell us, and not enough, this was my interpretation of it. I know how God communicates with me, but I don't know how God communicates with you. So who am I to proclaim facts as it pertains to anyone besides me? Agree with what you agree with and leave it at that. You can't deny truth, you can only disbelieve it. The only thing that can accurately describe a connection with and the existence of God is how your energy resonates into the universe. Because outside of doctrine, which is only valid to an extent, what other information do we have to prove or exhume God's existence? We don't know shit about God besides the power and experience he provides to us personally, the experiences other people say they have, and a bunch of words folks say is his name. Everything else is advice, guidance, and information. But nobody wants to admit this because faith is what gives folks prideful conviction towards ignorance.